Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is DFree, and here today we're talking about this Dragon Ball Legends post. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, hit that subscribe. Stick around for some more content as well as a notification to miss anything we upload here on the channel. Let me know in the comment section down below once you guys have listened to the video what you guys think this is all about. Do you think it's some sort of joke for April Fool's, obviously being tomorrow? Do you think it's a hint for something that's upcoming? And I'm going to kind of cover every base around this and try not to read too deep into this while also effectively reading too deep into it, if that makes sense to you, right? It's kind of like a little bit of an oxymoron, for lack of a better term there. That being said, we have this post that popped up on the official Dragon Ball Legends Twitter, and you guys have been seeing it for a little bit. It reminds you of the "Who's that Pokemon" thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it reminds you of that big time, right? So we got all these varying Vegetas here. They're all Vegetas. A few of them could see a Zenkai soon in general, right? Regardless of this, I think a few of them could see Zenkais. There's an EX Vegeta. We'll kind of go through this kind of briefly. So, pause, thank you. So that's the Drip Vegeta, as the community calls him, the Coat Vegeta. SS4 Vegeta, okay. LF Vegeta, please don't do that. Please don't Zenkai him anytime soon. We have SSJ Vegeta, who does have a Zenkai. We have Purple Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, who I would be surprised if he got one sometime soon. Super Vegeta, who really deserves one. He's quite old. And that is the yellow Vegeta that just came out. The your number one Vegeta. There we go. And that's the EX Red Vegeta that's been in the game for forever. Now, I need to go back and double check on that Vegeta because he's actually the dark horse of this. Because if there's a Zenkai and there's the Scouter Vegeta, okay, he's the last one. If there's a Zenkai, the funny thing is it could actually be him. Because they typically are going based off of arcs, and for characters that are droppable on these stages or have some tie-in to these story mode stages, right? That Vegeta, I believe, is from the Frieza saga. Where is he at? He's in here somewhere. No, he's from the androids. He's from the android one. I remembered it as soon as I looked at him because I was getting him confused with the EX green one. Anyways, he's probably not next because last I remember they just did Krillin's Zenkai, so they're still on Namek with the story stages. So he'll be getting one sometime, but just not immediately. So out of these characters, people are speculating that the most likely to get it is going to be SS4 Vegeta. Here's the deal. If we get an SS4 Vegeta Zenkai, that is a really big deal because for one, he's good, right? But and he'll get really, really good. I mean, he's outdated nowadays, but he could be really good post Zenkai. Anyways, that's a big deal because I always point this out with the game. And I have been pointing this out since before the 1-year anniversary. I was able to effectively do a video and literally predict the characters for the first anniversary, which was actually quite a big deal because they decided to do 2 different arcs. If you remember, they did the Resurrection F stuff, and they also did the new Vegito. I said all these characters are coming, and it was like the reason why is because these are characters that are on the horizon because of what's in the game currently, what they've been releasing currently. I did the same thing for the 2-year anniversary. It was a little bit more obvious that Vegito was coming, even though some people were kind of in denial. It was a little bit more obvious that Vegito Blue was finally coming for the 2-year anniversary, but 1 year was a big deal in my opinion. But nonetheless, we are just a few months away from the 3-year anniversary. That is in July. We're about to hit April. We're a few months away, right? We just got Super 17. If they are going to do a GT character for the anniversary, they are going to start now in terms of ramping up GT because it's so barren. GT is probably one of the more underrepresented tags that has this many characters in the game. Like, there are tags that just have like 3 or 4 characters that you just ignore. There's no point in even having them. Like Super Saiyan Rose, for example, shouldn't be a tag. There's no point, right? Unless you're just trying to categorize your characters and sort through them better, whatever. GT has a really distinct cast of characters, and there are a lot of moments in GT still, even though they've done most of the hype characters, there's a lot of moments in GT still that they can do that I'm still looking forward to. And I want to see some more niche stuff that's going to be specific to GT, because I've talked about in the past that the biggest problem with the GT team and building a GT team going forward from a design perspective is these characters, like this Vegeta, are going to be just exported to their family teams and be ran on their family teams because it's going to be a better team for them in the first place or in the long run, unless GT can hold its own. GT hasn't proven to be able to hold its own pretty much since Super Baby 2's release. They've kind of gotten sporadic releases, and that's been an issue for them. Now, they've obviously also added in Powerful Opponent, so where the villains of this team can now be exported to Powerful Opponent and be ran there and potentially even have better success on that team going forward. There are a couple of ways to combat that. So that's one thing to consider. But I really want to see characters that are not going to have that same viability. They're going to be kind of soft locked into being ran on GT. Characters like Legic would be really, really cool. What about a Par Brothers character? That would be awesome. It's so cheesy, no one's going to pull for it, but I'd love it, right? There's more stuff in here like SS3 Goku I'd like to get. Kid Goku, of course, is what I'm talking about. That's my favorite SS3. Like overall, Kid Goku SS3 is so cool to me. There's more variations like the Spirit Bomb Kid Goku. There's a lot they can still technically do despite mainly touching on most of the big stuff. And obviously there's a pretty big omission from this list in terms of an actual character being represented. You guys know who I'm talking about. He could be the headliner for the next anniversary. And they typically, this is long story short, typically when we're about to get a celebration, and not just anniversaries, when we're about to get a celebration, you can literally look at the banners leading up to the celebration and predict it. I remember when they dropped that You're Number One Vegeta, and I did a prediction video for the 1,000-day campaign. I said, hey, some people are not really going to think this is going to happen because they just put out a teaser video, or not really a teaser video, but like a video that had 3 LOE characters, one of which was LF Frieza. The other characters got a Zenkai. LF Frieza still has yet to get a Zenkai. Some people try to argue with me about that. And guys, please don't take everything they post as always being some sort of a hint. That's not always the case. Always, right? Sometimes it is. In fact, quite often it is. That's not always the case, as evidenced by that post. But long story short, immediately after that, when we hit the 1,000-day campaign, out of left field, out of nowhere, LFS3 drops. And it's like, okay, well, that made sense because they're doing Buu Saga stuff. They dropped the Year Number One Vegeta. It's just the best thing for them to do right now, right? So you can do that quite often with a lot of celebrations. So if GT starts getting stuff sprinkled in here and there, like more Zenkais, maybe in a couple of weeks, we get like a new character release as well. Because how this is going to work is we just got characters released this week, right? Next week is going to be another Zenkai. It's a little early to tease this and let it sit and simmer for about a week, but he could be coming out next week if it is a Vegeta Zenkai. Keep that in mind. And then the following week after that, it would be characters. That's how they do. They typically, on a bi-weekly schedule, release character or Zenkai. So that's something to kind of look forward to in terms of the releases. There's a very decent chance, and Super 17 might have been the one to spearhead this start. There's a decent chance GT starts getting stuff. Now, last thing I want to say, this could be completely nothing. This could be some sort of funny April Fool's thing that they're going to post about tomorrow. Anybody remember last year with the April Fool's Piccolo driving event, stuff like that? They always do something like that. Same with Dokkan. Dokkan has a really cool like zombie type thing going on. I like it a lot. But yeah, like this could be something April Fool's based, and they just kind of posted, oh, leaving this here, like they want you to assume this is something, right? So there's that. I talked about GT a lot. Let's kind of quickly go through the other characters here and what I think will happen. I don't think this dude gets a Zenkai anytime soon, although I wouldn't be surprised. Technically, he's still pretty new. I don't think it's going to happen. You know, the only thing to these red Vegeta family characters getting Zenkais is like, dude, you just dropped the red Trunks. Like, I hate when they do that thing where they drop a new character, and then immediately basically replace them on their team with the Zenkai. In my opinion, this is the best red character for that team right now, for the Vegeta family team currently. And they're not as good on hybrids, obviously, because there's a lot of competition on hybrids, for example. Girls is kind of whatever. They need a more consistent red option, but that's neither here nor there. And Future, you can debate with me about that, but I'd rather run Cell, personally, right? So, and you can even argue about this dude being on Vegeta family if you have the other one, the free one at 14-star, and this dude at like 2-star. Obviously, you want to run the 14-star, right? Long story short, again, for the third time, these characters getting Zenkais, these two, that's going to completely kill off that Trunks. But hey, we saw that happen with Gogeta Blue and Super Saiyan God Vegeta, right? This guy. So, anyways, next to LF, they're on the tail end of the Buu Saga stuff. So would I be surprised by this dude getting a Zenkai as well during this campaign? No, I just don't think it's likely that an LF specifically is going to Zenkai. Speaking of LFs, the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta LF is not listed here either, so he's completely off the table. Actually in favor of another Future Saga Vegeta here, so I don't think I don't think the Future Saga Vegeta is even getting anything. I talked about Super Vegeta. Super Vegeta was a character that's so old. Super Vegeta's probably in like the top 5 sparking characters that's oldest in the game that hasn't gotten a Zenkai yet. Like if I were to sort this by sparking rarity and look at the power levels at the very bottom, there's very few of these characters at the very bottom that have been in the game as long as him, overall power level wise, and that haven't gotten a Zenkai. Like IT Goku's one of those characters. Super Trunks came out with the Vegeta, in fact. Kid Gohan is one of them. Kid Gohan in like Pan are probably the oldest two in general that haven't gotten a Zenkai. But not very many characters are as old as him. So in terms of being deserving, he definitely deserves it. He even escaped not getting a balance change when they were still doing that, right? So I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm scared of him putting Super Saiyan teams over the top. His Z ability is already really good for them. I'm scared of him putting them over the top. I don't need to discuss the year number 1 Vegeta. He's not getting a Zenkai. That's not happening. I already talked about the EX characters. They've yet to show that they want a Zenkai and EX character outside of making them applicable to a story event. I do not think they'll always be free in story events, for the record. I think there's going to come a time where they're going to Zenkai characters that are going to be summonable characters, and I don't know how they're going to balance that in terms of CC cost. But if they don't ever make them summonable or things like that, what I could see happening as well is, you know how they just Zenkai'd the Krillin from the Frieza saga, right? I think there's a good chance that they revamp those events and add in other characters from that part of the story, that part of the arc, right? Even if they weren't like technically free, like I believe Krillin and Gohan were like free unlocks once upon a time. Even if they weren't like free, for example, I think there's a good chance they just go ahead and update those events once upon a time and in the future and add in more Zenkais to them if they don't ever make them summonable, because there's too many Zenkais that are pending Zenkai, or too many EXs that are pending Zenkais, right? He already has a Zenkai, and I already talked about him. So let me know what you guys think. Is this April Fool's? Is this something to think about? We'll know either tomorrow, if they post about it again tomorrow for April Fool's, if it was that, or we'll know sometime in about 5 days, whenever, I guess, potentially a new character is revealed. If I had to guess, I talked about it for a while. SS4 Vegeta just makes the most sense. And if he gets a Zenkai, and all of a sudden we maybe start getting a couple new characters for GT over the next couple of months, it is going to look incredibly likely that Gogeta is the anniversary character. But also want to throw out there's a good chance as well that Gogeta might be before the anniversary. So we'll see. If he drops before the anniversary, I have no idea what they're doing for anniversary. If he drops sometime before the anniversary, I don't know what they're doing. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one.